This is chapter 6E, learning to write a formula. You'll learn to write a formula in words and symbols. And a formula basically is a way to calculate, it's like a way to calculate something mathematically. For example, I know that if I wanted to convert the number of francs into the number of centimes, I know that I have to divide my francs by 100. Sorry, not divide. I know I have to times my francs by 100 in order to get the number of centimes. So this right here is a formula. So we're going to practice writing formulas using words and symbols. Number 1 says to write a formula to change hours into minutes. So we want to make minutes. So minutes, now if we think about it, there's 60 seconds in 1 minute, and there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, right? So if you have 1 hour, we know that that's 60 minutes. If we have 2 hours, we know it's 120 minutes. So what we have to do is we have to multiply the number of hours times 60 to make our minutes. So to clean this up, instead of writing it all in words, we will use symbols. H for hours times 60 equals M for minutes. And that's my formula. So at this time, pause and complete 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so to change hours into seconds, we know that we have to take the number of hours, and first we times by 60, so we get minutes, right? And then from there we have to times those minutes into another times it by 60 again to get the seconds. And that's how you get hours into seconds. So to clean this up, I'm going to go ahead and write down the number of hours. H times 60 times 60 is 360. 3,600 is equal to seconds. Now we have to change minutes into hours, right? So if I had 60 minutes, it turns into 1 hour. If I had 120 minutes, it turns into 2 hours. So it would be the number of minutes I have divided by 60, because I have to divide by 60 to get my hours. So minutes divided by 60 equals H. Or you can write it as M over 60, because I'm dividing by 60, equals H. Francs into centimes. There's 100 francs, 100 centimes for every 1 franc, right? So if I had 200 centimes, I'd have 2 francs, right? So in order to turn francs into centimes, I have to multiply by 100 to get centimes. Then finally, centimes into francs. If I had 100 centimes to turn it into francs, I'm doing the opposite, I'm dividing. So it'll be francs divided by, sorry, not francs. It would be centimes divided by 100 to get francs. So now we go into word problems. Sam earns 3 Jolly Ranchers for every hour of good work. Write a formula to express the total T of Jolly Ranchers he receives after hours H. So you have to use the variables T and H. So at this time, pause and complete these exercises. So he earns 3 for every hour of good work. So he earns, in 1 hour, he gets 3. 2 hours, he gets 6. So what you have to do is you have to times the number of hours times the 3 Jolly Ranchers to get his total. So now that we know this idea, how many will he receive after 2 hours? So 3 for 1 hour, that means for 2 hours, he would receive 6. In 1.5 hours, well, if we know he receives 1 in 1 hour, he receives 3, and in 2 hours, he receives 6. That means in 1.5 hours, he receives technically 4.5 Jolly Ranchers, but you can't receive 4.5. So the answer in this one would be 5, because you cannot receive half of a piece of candy. If he earned a total of 15 Jolly Ranchers, so we know he earned a total of 15 Jolly Ranchers, how many hours did he work for? So think about it. We know for 1 hour he receives 3, so how many hours will he work to receive 15? So 1 is 3, 2 is 6, 3 is 9, 4 is 20, 5, my mistake, sorry, 1 is 3, 2 is 6, 3 is 9, 4 is 12, so 5 hours is 15. And that's all.